Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon and good evening to all of the viewers from around the world. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, we will be looking at the uses, the concept, the properties of a interesting indicator. The name is Fractal. The fractal is a geometric formation which we also utilize in looking for a signal generated using the pricing data. So we will be now going to the JForex4, the newly released trading platform from the Dukascopy Bank SA. This is the Euro JPY 10 minutes chart, which I will change to Euro USD with the hourly time frame formation so that it is much easier to read into the data and make sense of it. Euro USD is also the most commonly traded currency pair and most liquid one. Also, it has the lowest spread, so that is something to utilize to keep the trading cost lower. Now here I have to add the fractal indicators. For that I can do a quick search, or you can even go through the add indicator option. Okay, here is the fractal, and let me check the combination. As per its default setting, the fractal formation is where we have two lower lows on both sides of the current high. In that case, a bearish fractal formation takes place. And for bullish formations, we need higher lows on both sides of the current low for bullish formation, bullish fractal with the default setting of 2. You can change it. You can utilize different candlestick calculation period. Suppose if you want to increase the number of lows which need to be there on both sides of the current low for the calculation of fractal, then you can edit this as well. So you get the option. So for conceptual clarity, the formation is very simple. It simply takes into consideration the number of lows which need to be there on both sides for confirmation. So if we have here, if we were to take this fractal, the bullish fractal, in which we have 6 candles which have the lows which are higher than these candles low, and if we look at the left hand side, the lows are higher compared to this low. So on both these sides, the left and the right, the lows which are higher compared to the current low are giving a shape to the fractal formation which is bullish in nature. For bearish, we need 6 highs which are lower than these candles high on both the sides. So that's where we get the confirmation of a bearish fractal. So the data is pretty much easier to read into. We can make sense of these indicators simply by looking at the pricing data. So it's much easier to understand and equally easy to implement on the chart. Now if we were to go for any trades generated by this signaling mechanism, the stop loss is of course going to be this recent high for the formation, and this formation being easy to understand, you can utilize it on multiple time frames. Suppose if you are utilizing hourly formation for figuring out a trading opportunity, to pinpoint the exact entry point after the confirmation of on the hourly chart, you can utilize lower time formations like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And with multi-time frame data formation, you can have higher chances, higher probability of being right. So that's how you can utilize this indicator to take advantage of the market formations. Now I am utilizing 5-minute candlesticks data for figuring out the new opportunities to work with this indicator. So you can notice that we have these formations which are continuously pointing to the newer highs which are lower in nature. So when there is a downward trend, we will have these bearish fractals which will be of lower highs, and when there is a upward momentum bullish trend, we will have this bullish fractal with the formation of higher lows. But when the trend is bearish, we will also have the bullish fractals which are going to be lower and lower. So you have to be careful while utilizing these data points. If we are going into the trade which is simply dependent on the fractals data, but if these fractals are of not in tandem with the trend, the underlying trend, in that case we do have to be careful and accordingly take trades, while also ensuring that if we happen to be wrong, we shouldn't be losing too much money. So that's one way to utilize it, while also relying on multiple data points, multiple data frames as well. So here, if you utilize it along with this hourly formation, you will have higher chances of profitability. Now that we have bearish fractal in today's session formed at 5 GMT, if you were to go for any trade after this confirmation starting from 11 GMT, you would have been in a better position if you were to then rely on these bearish fractal formations, and in that case you would have indeed been able to make a decent amount of money. As we saw the bearishness prevail in most of the today's session, and we then saw this decline which eventually took the euro USD quite low towards parity, but from that level we saw a strong rebound which pushed it higher, and it had now started to make a newer highs. So it will be interesting to see how this formation shapes up. Right now, if we consider this fractal is higher than the prior fractal. So that's one interesting thing to take note of. So you can make another formation by simply comparing the nature of the fractals. If we have a lower low fractal of bearish nature which is lower than the prior fractal, I feel we are likely to have higher probability of making money. And if we have the bullish fractal which is higher than the prior fractal, in that case we will have the higher probability of being right on the side of the trend, as we will be trading with the trend, and as it's said in the market, trend is your friend. So we can utilize this along with the trend also. So you can use this fractal formation standalone as well as in conjunction with other indicators. Also you can compare the recent fractal values to the prior fractal values and get a good idea of the trend as well. So there are multiple ways you can deal with this formation. There are multiple ways in which you can try to exploit the market dynamics in your favor. Now let me introduce you to some editing options. We have the choice of defining the number of candles high or low which need to be there on both sides of the recent high or low to be confirmed as a fractal. So you can always vary this. Now I am utilizing 12 as the defining factor. So we will need 12 lows on both sides which are higher than these middle low to ensure the confirmation of the fractal. So you can vary this, and depending on that you will have this indicator giving you the data points from lower time frame formation or higher time frame formation. So you have to define this accordingly, and then you can make a good use of it to define these pricing points and look for profitable trading opportunity, higher probability of making money. All right, coming to the maximums and minimums, this is the value which is going to define the fractal. So if you are happy with this color combination, green for the bullish fractal and blue for the bearish fractal, you can use it, or you can vary the color combination. So you get the choice. You can go for brighter colors, or you can simply stick with the existing color. It's always up to you. So now I'm using with brighter colors, and this is how this fractal formation is shaping up. Okay, Coming to advanced editing option, you can opt for recalculate on new candle only. So if we have the fluctuating current closing price, current applied price is of course going to be fluctuating throughout the current candle period. But if you don't want to take into the current candle's applied price, then to omit that, you can go for this option where you will have the constant value fixed as the soon as new candle formation takes place depending on the existing data point, and that will remain in place till the next candle formation comes into place. So you will have the stability even though the applied price is going to keep fluctuating. You can also go for highlighting of the candle periods which are used for the calculation. So here both sides we are having the highlighting of four candles each. Calculate from custom data. The customization can also be done for the calculation. You can utilize this fractal indicator for any instrument from the chart. So whenever you use a different instrument, suppose if I change the chart to say, for example, the AUD then this formation, fractal formation will take shape according to the pricing points, the pricing data of this AUD. So you can utilize this indicator for almost all of these instruments available on the platform, and then depending on your assessment you can go for the tradings, trade trade initiation, highlight the time period zone, calculate from custom data. Candle period can also be same as per the chart, or you can vary the calculation period. Suppose if I am utilizing 10 minutes as the candle period for the calculation of the fractals, even though this chart is of hourly time frame, we are going to have the fractals being calculated using the candle period of 10 minutes. So you can vary this. All right. Fractal data points. It's taking time. Okay, so here we got this. These fractals are being defined using 10-minute candlesticks on both sides of these highs and lows, even though the chart is of hourly time frame. So that's how you can utilize multiple formations to define and devise the optimum trade entry and exit points. I'm going to restore it back to use from the chart. The side can be ask or bid depending on which side of the spread you want to use. You can go for that. If you want the indicator to be available on all the candle periods, you can go for it, or else you can define on which time frame you want the indicator to be available, and only on those time frames this indicator is going to be available. So on the hourly and 10 minutes we will have this indicator plotted, but for other charting options we won't have this indicator plotted, as we have defined the indicator to be available only on these two time frames. Or if you want it back, all you have to do is get this option, check mark, tick mark, show indicator on all the periods. So that's it from my side for today's session. If you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. For further coverage of the market developments, do check out the Dukascopy Analytics page. We are also available on the Facebook. You can reach out to us there too. For trying out this newly released trading platform, the link has also been included in the bio. So give it a try and let me know how it works out for you. Thank you all for joining in. I'll be back tomorrow with a new indicator, new formation, new users, new customization options, and much more. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.